In this video, we will talk about your header. The header needs to be easy to understand, as this forms the main place where your visitors will find their way around your website. You should have a clear navigation and a clear call to action. There are different headers available depending on the template that you started with for your website. Some will have one row and some might have more than one row. In this example, we've got two rows, one with the logo and the name, some details, and the navigation bar in the bottom row. Now, if you have two rows, you can drag elements around and you can delete elements and add them as you want. So let's say, you can use the handles to make elements bigger or smaller. Let's say you don't want to use this text element, you can just delete that. We can delete this one. And if you drag your menu, you'll see the little blue line will show you where it will end up. So if we want to put it there, or maybe put the button on this side, you can drag the elements around as you want and adjust the spacing and the margins between them. You can also add different rows if you want to. So we've got a second row here with the social sharing, but if you don't want the row, you can completely just delete that row and get rid of it. Now the header consists of different rows, and you can just add one to the top or add one to the bottom as you want. So let's say we add one to the top. We go into the settings, change the background color just a little bit, and then you can add more elements to this if you want. Adding elements or widgets to these rows are also very easy. The entire header, regardless of what row you work in, are divided in three columns. You've got one on the left, one in the center, and one on the right. And if you click on any of these plus signs, you can add a widget. Now these widgets are different from the page widgets. These are unique to the header widget itself. So let's say you've got an e-commerce store. You maybe want to add a cart, and there you've got your cart in, where you can now change all the settings as you would want it for your cart. Maybe add in your brand color or a different color, something like that. We can add another one. Let's say you want a search functionality on your website, and you've got all the settings for that. So now you've got a search functionality. We can adjust the sizing and maybe swap this around. So the header is really easily customizable to your own look and feel. And as mentioned, you can also add another row to the bottom by clicking the plus icon and adding in whatever widget. If you want to add one more button for some reason, you can add in whatever you want in this row, or just delete a row if you don't want to use that. So let's discard these changes, go back to the main template that we loaded. Let's now say you want to edit your main menu. To edit that, the navigation bar. The navigation bar forms, the main part. It's the main star of your website, of your header. It's where people actually navigate. So to change all these little buttons, click on Edit Menu, and here you can start editing your entire menu. So in this menu, as you can see, you've got all the main categories that you can see, and you also have sub menu items. Let's first look at rearranging this. So if you want to rearrange one of them, you just drag and drop, and you see that they will swap around in the menu, in the preview. There they swap around. To create a sub menu, you just drag your widget to the right hand side, and there it now forms part of the sub menu under this item. If you want to bring it back as a main item, click and drag it back to the left, and now it will return as one of your main items. If you want to add an item to your menu, just click on Add Menu Item, and here you can select from any one of your pages that you have in your website, store, your entire store, or specific products or items, external links, anchor points that you created on your pages, files. You can link it to a pop-up, email, or a phone number. Let's just go with a page for now. Let's take just the agency for now. We select that, and now it would have added this in at the bottom. Now you can just drag it to wherever you want this item to be. You can also create mega menus. To do this, you can select any one of the items that you've added in your menu, not the sub menu items, but the main menu items. Let's use the one we just created, and we click on the plus sign, add a mega menu. So now you've got the mega menu added, and you can start editing this. Now, a mega menu is, as the name says, a big menu that will display, not just a drop down. And this now it's a normal drag and drop builder, as the page builder would be. So you can add in any one of your widgets, your elements, and it's completely customizable. You can even add in different blocks from templates if you want to. If you want to, for some reason, add let's say we want to add a call to action. Just for the sake of this example, let's add this as a call to action. Now let me show you what the mega menu would look like. You hit confirm, and let's save this page. If we now preview this page, your menu will look like this. You've got your main heading, and the ones that's got the sub menus will have it displayed like this, and then the mega menu will show up as a mega menu that goes over the website content. And again, this is customizable as you would want it. In the main header settings, this little settings menu on the left hand side, you've got a bunch of different options that you can play around with. One, first of all, is the layout. On top, your normal size, you can make it a full width, which will expand this to the full width of your screen. You can make this a compact view, which makes the margins a little bit bigger so that it displays smaller. You can have it vertical at the left side of your page. Your submenus will have arrows, or you can have it on the right side of your page. So it's fully customizable how you would want it to look and feel. Now, if we go back to the normal view, the other thing that you can also do is play around with your background color, and you can adjust this color to whatever color you would want. And it is the same for the top bar. You saw that they actually worked separately. You can adjust this one on its own. There's a background color. Now the items jumped a little bit around because we had the different columns. So let's remove one of the columns. Let's do this again. Let's get rid of these. Let's drag the menu in here again to where the blue line indicates to us. And let's get rid of this bottom row. So what I want to show you now is where you can place your header on top of the website content so that it's not a separate thing as it is here. Now, how you would do that? First of all, you would need more space on your content. So we create a bigger margin. Let's go with this for now. In the settings, we can select place header on top of content. So now the content shifted up. And if we now remove the background color of the header, you will see that it forms part of your main content. Now all you need to do is just adjust the text of the menu, and let's adjust your logo colors just so that all the changes that you just make sense. So there are different use cases to have your menu on top of your website. Maybe you would want to do that. That's completely up to you. If you don't want to do that anymore, just place the header on top of the content, just remove that, and it will be back to where it was. So let's discard this and have a look at how you can now make a fixed header for your website. At the moment, when you scroll, you see that the menu disappears. And sometimes you would want the menu to actually stay visible as you scroll through the page. So this is called a fixed header. How you would do that is go back into your header settings, apply fixed header when scrolling. So now what happens, you'll see when I start scrolling, it looks like the menu disappears, the header disappears, but then suddenly it pops back. As soon as it pops back, this is a completely new header. So now we don't want the double line. Now we can maybe go back to that previous design that we had. Let's get rid of this. We want the navigation to go in here. We want to get rid of that bar. And because it is on the content while scrolling, we want this to be a little bit smaller. So now what happens, if we scroll back to the top, you'll see the original menu. And if we start scrolling, the smaller one we just created will pop up. So this is how you create a fixed header that's a little bit less intrusive than the main navigation header that you have in your website. If you're happy with that, all you can do is hit save. For funnels and landing pages, you don't necessarily want a header. You don't want all the buttons and the text and the logos and all the distractions. So all you can do for those specific pages is click on this hide icon and it will hide. So this then becomes a funnel page. Even if you scroll, there's no header. This is specifically just for your funnels or your landing pages where you want people's attention focused purely on the content of the page and not have all the other navigational distractions that a normal header will give you. So this is a global header, but you can turn it, you can hide or show it per page where you prefer. And the same goes for your footer. So if you scroll all the way down to the footer, there you also have the hide functionality to get rid of the footer. If you want to, you can show it again. And that is it. So now you can go ahead, create your own beautiful headers. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us.